Listen, y'all know how we've been talking about off and on the problems with the Young Turks and Cenk and Anna Kasparian. Listen, I don't know why, I don't know how, but I got this in my email this morning. I got this email from Reddit. I rarely go on Reddit. Do I have the app? Yes. But rarely do I go on Reddit. And I don't ever remember getting an email with their most popular talked about stories. But I got it this morning. And who's at the top of the list? Anna Kasparian. I'm afraid of talking to people who are like outside of my race because I don't know if I'm going to unintentionally step in it. I was like, what? So I clicked on it and it took me to this. This is the conversation that's happening on Reddit. So I read through the 24 comments and I was like, what? And then I saw that twitter.com open. So I clicked open and it took me here. Anna K going full oppressed white woman. I was like, what? Now that thumbnail is a video. So you know what I did? I clicked on it.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm a little scared or I'm afraid of talking to people who are outside of my race because I don't know if I'm going to unintentionally step in it, right?
Yeah.
There's, and I hate that. Right. There's this I don't know. It's frigid, because if all of the message is toward me and people who, I'm Armenian, but still they call me white passing. So, just got to go with that, right? If people who look like me are constantly told you are inherently racist. Okay, you are inherently a bad person. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that's the start, and I had this debate with Cenk when it came to our rhetoric in regard to the other side, right? If the starting off point is you are trash and we think you're evil,
yeah,
then
totally.
how does that? You're never going to move in a better direction. You're not going to move the country in a better direction. You're not going to improve race relations. You're going to make it worse, and that is what I see happening. I think a lot of the division is due to the backlash to that kind of rhetoric. And I think I think racism exists for sure. Do I think the majority of white people are racist? Do I think white people are inherently racist? No, I do not.
Sounds like Anna has a problem with being held accountable for the racist shit that will come out of her mouth. And the whole purpose of holding someone accountable for the racist shit that they say is so that they can learn from it and do better. So yeah, it sounds like to me Anna Kasparian's fix to not wanting to be called out if she were to say something racist is to not mingle or interact with people outside of her own race. Correct me if I'm wrong. She interacts with people of a different race all the time, right? Isn't the Young Turks made up of many different races and backgrounds? Hell, her ace boon coon, Cenk, isn't he of a different race? So I don't understand what it is that Anna is saying. It sounds like a cop-out to me. She would rather hang out with the people that look like her and think like her, so they can be racist amongst their little crew together. No one there to call her out on her racism and educate her. But it doesn't stop there. She's got more to say, and I'm going to need for y'all to help me out with this one.
Journalists who were doing their jobs. For instance, when Li Fang was reporting on the BLM protests, when he was accurately reporting on the BLM protests and some of the violence that took place during those protests, his own colleagues at The Intercept tried to paint him as a racist. I've known Li Fang for many, many years, since I started working at TYT. The guy doesn't have a racist bone in his body. For them to paint him in that way, I thought was disgusting, and it had a chilling effect, right? The whole point is to intimidate journalists from doing accurate reporting on what's actually occurring on the ground. Then there was what happened to Jesse Singal, which I found disgusting. I didn't know about that until at some point this year. I would say earlier this year.
With the trans stuff? Jesse's been on the show before. Yeah, he's done great.
Jesse Singal is a good faith, I think, critical thinker. I'm subscribed to Blocked and Reported. I have listened to endless podcast episodes from Blocked and Reported. I haven't seen anything from Jesse Singal that communicates to me that he is a transphobe, that he is a bad person. He did straight news reporting on basically what, some of the risks could be when it comes to transitioning literal kids with puberty blockers and then cross-sex hormones. And through his reporting, which I'm very sad to say I didn't really come across until this year, I learned that I was wrong about a bunch of other things, right? So for instance, it is a lie that puberty blockers are reversible. In some cases, they are not, and they can cause irreparable harm. And look, you might think, okay, but you got to do a balancing act. And if a child or if a teenager has severe gender dysphoria and it would actually be better for that person to go on puberty blockers. Okay, I mean, we should be able to balance that out. But my point here is withholding the information because you don't like the information getting out there.
This is where I need y'all's help. I don't speak deeply on trans issues because it's not my lane. I don't know a lot about puberty blockers and all of those other things. I support the trans community. But I do know that if you are not a trans person, how can you tell them what is transphobic to them as a white woman? As a white woman, how are you going to tell me what is racist when you've never experienced racism? You know the definition of racism. You don't have the experience of someone inflicting racism upon you and the vitriol that comes along with that. The two people she was talking about in that clip, when you get down in the comments of the post that was made over on Twitter, some of the people don't like the people that she mentioned, labeled them as racist and transphobic and dangerous, but she sides with them. Why did I get this in my email? I know why. Because I needed to come and share it with you all. Today is the 4th of July. It's not a holiday for me, but I'm going out in the streets. I'm going to enjoy my day off. I'll see y'all later.